Hello, AMD lovers. Okay, well after this, you really won't like it. You won't love AMD. All right, so let's move right on to it. AMD FX 9590 CPU benchmark. You ready? All right, here we go. All right, so here it is. $800, right? All right, so in Cinebench, this is what I use to benchmark my CPU also to see the performance, and you can see that right here. My Phenom 2 overclock to 4 gigahertz, 2.4 gigahertz North Bridge gives me 4.51 points. So here it is. This is the 9590, 8.61 points. Okay. Let's move right over to the AMD FX 8350. All right, so this here, AMD FX 8350, is overclocked to 4.8 gigahertz and not 5 gigahertz, which brings it to 8.25 points. Now, they're relatively, really close. They're really close. I'm certain if you could overclock, which in some people can, not everyone can, but some people with 8350 can overclock their processor to 5 gigahertz. And if they ran the test, it would likely be equivalent to this. Nothing has changed with this processor compared to FX 8350, and that is a disappointment. AMD's selling point here appears to be it's the first ever stock. God, stop flying the plane over my house. I live next to an airport. I apologize. Alright? Alright. AMD's selling point here in this CPU appears to be that it's the first CPU at stock clocks, with turbo, that's able to reach 5 gigahertz. I think that's their selling point. Oh, we're the first one to reach 5 gigahertz. Let's sell it for $800. All right. So, looking here, North Bridge is 2.2. All right. Max TDP 219. AMD FX 9590. Let me see if I can zoom in here a little bit. All right. A little blurry. Zoom back out. Okay. So comparing the chips, here they are right here. Architecture is a power driver for all of them. Family rehearsal, of course. Manufacturer, 32 nanometers, of course, same across the board. For the base clocks and the turbo clocks are different, and that's it. These are the only two things. Okay, three things are different: base CPU base clock, turbo clock, and TDP. Okay, so level 3 cache, same. Level 2 cache is same, all the same across the board. Level 3 cache, 8 megabytes, same. Max DDR3 support, 1866 across the board, same. Max TDP, 220 watts, 220 watts for the 4.7 gigahertz, 220 watts for the 5 gigahertz, and 125 watts for the FX 8350. Now, there's something you guys probably don't know, but or you probably do know, is that yes, it's a high wattage design, right? But if you overclock the FX 8350 to 5 gigahertz or 4.8 gigahertz, you will be pulling about 200 watts. It'd be a little bit more. So really, yeah, my CPU pulls about 170 right now, or anywhere from 160 to 180. But I'm not too sure. I got that answer from looking online, seeing how these people they did the test. I don't have one of those electrical things they can plug into the wall and tell me how much watts the power the computer's using, so I can evaluate and see where it's coming from. But yeah, you overclock that, like, dude, it's 220 watts right there, around 200 watts. So nothing has changed compared, okay? And it's so depressing. I understand that, okay, right now the FX 9590 stock paired with an Intel 3770 stock, the FX 9590 will whip the Intel's ass. That's until Intel puts his hands up and says, wait a minute, I forgot to overclock myself. So when the Intel overclocks to 4.8 gigahertz, here you're going to have, right here as you can see, 3770K, stock 3.5, 7.91. Overclock to 4.8, 9.73, almost 10. Almost 10, this is an 8. So it still whoops it. Okay? But really, this is not everything. I mean, in day-to-day performance, if you browse on Facebook, look, if you, I've seen some people bought a $3,000 Mac to browse Facebook. Oh my lord! But hey, that's their progress. All right. When you're just gaming, the AMD CPU wins. It really does, and you save like $100 plus. And you're even if you're live streaming, it's good for live streaming. The FX 8350, not the bulldozer. So really, it's up to you. But just looking at the 9590 just kind of makes me. I was like, oh, maybe I should sell my AMD rig and just move to Intel. Pick up 3770K. Ooh. But no, I'm not gonna do that. I'm gonna wait because AMD is known. They're doing this. It's kind of confusing a lot of people because AMD is known for the processor is not as powerful as Intel, but it's somewhat close-ish. 3770K versus the 8350, somewhat close-ish, and I mean it handles the games, and that's what a lot of people use it for, playing games. A lot of gamers to play games. If you want more like a power horse kind of thing, you want to like edit all kinds of videos and I don't know, make a movie, then yeah, picking up a Intel CPU would benefit you. You'll be able to render videos faster. I mean, it just depends, on your tolerance and how long you're willing to wait. So, yeah, it'll render the videos faster. It'll produce a lot faster, increasing productivity. So, it all depends on you. So, I mean, I think AMD needs to go home. I think they drank too much. So, I haven't seen it on Newegg yet, but I've seen it on eCost. As you guys can see, if you want to go, you can go to ecost.com and buy the CPU there if you want it. But other than that, I haven't seen it on Newegg. This is my primary store website to come and shop for AMD CPUs. But I don't know how the $800 price tag is going to fit. I think you can put it between. Okay, wait. You can't put it on top. You can, but how would it? Wow. It is a laughing stock. So, man, I think the sales in this is going to bump up. This is another thing I want to know is if the price of this processor is going to go down. I would like to see them put out more CPUs. I think I've said this in my previous video where I want them to bring out 3 or 4 lines of processors, ranging from anywhere from 200 to 350. All the older generation processors, sell them for $150 to about $100, around there. I don't know. They're gonna figure something out. Something like that. You guys get what I'm saying, right? Something like that around those lines. Just don't make this 8350 the top of the line. Bring out a 8490 something, and with more performance on the cores, will be able to compete against Intel. Just bring it out to match it up, with Intel, but make it a slightly lower price. I mean, this is what is going to help the market. It's going to benefit us because Intel will lower their CPU price, and it's going to be a win-win. So you can't really go wrong with that. Anyway, yeah, I guess that's all I have to say. Besides that damn $877 price tag. I mean, it's really not. It's the same. You're basically paying AMD to overclock your CPU. What? Want a 9590? Sure. Give me the money. I overgave the overclock CPU because that's basically what it is. They're giving you an overclocked processor. Is it? You can already do that yourself. Pay $200. You have a decent motherboard. Overclock at a 4.8. Boom. There it is. You save $700. Like literally, it's the same thing. There's nothing different except the higher clocks. I'm sure if you underclock the CPU to about 4 gigahertz, it'll be like 125 watts. Maybe. I'm sure of it. Maybe. you'll need tests to confirm that. But what do you guys think? Leave a comment below. I want to hear what you have to say about this. Are you going to be picking one up? I'm not. So, yeah. Let me know what you think below. And as always, I'll talk to you later.